Republican Texas lawmaker retained a criminal defense attorney. Our news partner, the Texas Tribune, reports there is a complaint against State Representative Bryan Slaton. It alleges he engaged in a potentially inappropriate relationship with an intern. Joining us this afternoon to give us some insight about all that's unfolded is our Monica Madden. Monica, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Will.
Let's start with all these details coming out. What is the reaction that's unfolding at the Capitol?
Well, first and foremost, Will, it's kind of the elephant in the room in the halls of the legislature. It's something that a lot of people became aware about, and rumors kind of started churning in around the rumor mill last week when the House had one of its most consequential days in the legislature, which is the budget debate. And Representative Slaton notably was absent, the only House member absent, and he had also filed numerous different amendments to that budget. So his absence kind of got people talking. But since then, now that things are becoming more solidified, this rumor really through that complaint obtained by the Texas Tribune, there is a lot of Republicans who are talking about this on the record. First and foremost, we heard from the leadership, Speaker Dade Phelan. He sent us a statement saying, quote, "The Texas House does not tolerate misconduct or other inappropriate behaviors and takes all allegations related to these issues seriously. I expect this matter to be addressed in a swift and thorough manner under the rules governing our chamber for the 88th legislature and all applicable standards of conduct." The past few days in the Texas House, this is another statement from Representative Steve Toth. He is a Republican who kind of is closely aligned with Slaton, or was, at least ideologically, and he has had the sharpest criticisms. I'll read this statement that he put out on Twitter. He said, quote, "The past few days in the Texas House screams of everything that's wrong with a small segment of its elected officials. Unfortunately, calling the behavior of Bryan for HD2, that's his Twitter username, inappropriate is a gross understatement. What's most troubling about the events of this story is that his behavior appears to be predatory. Unfortunately, his handlers have closed their eyes to the signs of his dysfunctional behavior because he's willing to do their bidding. He needs to resign now." So that was kind of some of the reactions that we were seeing online from lawmakers in the State House.
So we're seeing the reaction from some of those Republicans, other lawmakers up there on the Capitol. But what about Representative Slaton himself? What is he doing in response?
Well, he was in the House chamber today, but really kept to himself. He has been quiet, and we're told that he has been informed by his legal counsel to not speak to the media about this issue. I went into his office to see if any staffers would provide any more additional information or even react to the call for his resignation, and they stayed quiet and pointed to the statement that his office put out the other day.
Obviously something to keep following. So what are the next steps? What can we expect with that?
Well, the House General Investigative Committee says that it is looking into this matter, although that committee did, when I went and spoke to the vice chair, that's Representative Ann Johnson today, she said that the committee does not comment on pending matters in the investigation. Obviously, that complaint that the Texas Tribune obtained that we have not independently confirmed did kind of talk about some of the details of the alleged misconduct. So the committee will be looking into that, and then, hopefully we'll hear some more information as they investigate these actions.